Okay, let's just dive right in. There's this dynamic, this relationship between an empath and a narcissist, and it's this incredibly tragic but also kind of hopeful thing. It's like this psychological dance, a classic struggle that you see play out all the time. But in this whole setup, the empath is not weak, not at all. They're the ones who feel everything so deeply, who can see right through the masks. And you know what? They're the ones who can ultimately flip the entire script.
And this quote, this really gets to the absolute core of it all. We had this idea that empathy has to be soft and endlessly forgiving, right? But what if real empathy, the kind that actually protects you and makes you strong, is built on just seeing things exactly as they are? No illusions.
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because the answer isn't to get down in the mud and fight fire with fire. It's not about out-manipulating a master manipulator. Nope. It's about using a tool that they are completely, utterly defenseless against. And to get what that tool is, we first have to understand the world they've built for themselves. Right, so to understand how to dismantle the game, you gotta see the game board first. A narcissist operates from inside a world that's basically one giant illusion. Their whole survival depends on their ability to create confusion, to distract you, and to make their own problems feel like they're yours.
And it is so important to get this. The chaos is not an accident. It's not just some messy part of their personality. No, it is the machine of control. It's the constantly shifting goalposts, the rewriting of a conversation that literally just happened. Those little digs designed to keep you totally off balance. See, when you're confused, you're easier to control. When you start doubting your own reality, you're easier to dominate.
So here you've got the two opposing forces in this psychological war. On one side, the narcissist uses noise, a constant storm of blaming, boasting, gaslighting, you name it. But the empath's real power, their secret weapon, lies in the complete opposite. It's found in order, in clarity, and most of all, in silence. And that brings us to the real turning point. The first act of true rebellion for an empath isn't some big, loud fight. It's a quiet revolution. It's the strategic, intentional use of silence. You know, we're all kind of taught to see silence in a confrontation as weakness, like you're backing down. But in this specific dynamic, that idea is totally wrong. It's not a retreat, it's a recalibration. Instead, it's a conscious, tactical choice. It's about seeing that storm of chaos being thrown right at you and choosing not to step into it. You simply refuse to give them the one thing they need to keep their fire going, your reaction. And this is where it gets really powerful. That silence becomes a mirror. Without your reaction to absorb all their negativity and twist it around, all their chaos, their accusations, their manipulation, it has nowhere to go. It just bounces right back at them. See, a narcissist absolutely thrives on your reaction. If you get upset, you're too sensitive. If you argue back, you're aggressive. Everything you do becomes ammunition for them. But silence starves them of that supply. It's an active, powerful refusal to play their game. And without a dance partner, their whole act just falls apart. And they're left alone with themselves, which for them is a truly terrifying place to be. Now, this strategic silence, it does way more than just neutralize an attack. That quiet space it creates, the space that's finally free from all the narcissist's noise, is where a massive internal shift starts to happen. It's an awakening. This is the moment the empath learns to turn their greatest sensitivity into their greatest strength. The empath changes from being someone who just passively feels everything into something more. They start to develop what you could call precision empathy. They don't just hear the words being said, they hear what's not being said. They see the patterns behind all the drama. It's like their deep feeling turns into a kind of emotional X-ray vision. And this awakening, it follows a pretty clear path. It all starts when you begin to see the patterns of manipulation for what they really are. Then you learn to trust that gut feeling, to stop telling yourself you're crazy. This builds a rock-solid foundation of emotional integrity, where you stand firm in your own reality. And from that place of strength, you can finally enforce boundaries, and you do it without apology, not as a punishment, but as an act of deep self-respect. And this really is the core lesson right here. The awakened empath gets it. True compassion can't exist without the boundaries to protect it. Giving endlessly to someone who only ever takes isn't kindness.
It's a slow, painful betrayal of yourself.
So, what happens when this awakened empath, armed with this precision empathy and these new firm boundaries, steps back into the arena? Well, the whole game just starts to collapse. This breaks it down perfectly. It's a whole new cause and effect loop where the old rules just don't work anymore. When the narcissist tries to get a rise out of you, you meet them with a calm presence. The game just stalls. When they try to gaslight and confuse you, your unshakable clarity shatters the illusion. And when they demand that emotional supply they need so badly, your strategic detachment leaves them with absolutely no power. Their entire playbook is useless. And that detachment, let's be clear, isn't about being cold or not caring. It's about you intentionally taking back your emotional freedom. It's a quiet declaration that says, you don't get to have my energy anymore. I don't need your approval, and that simple act, it's revolutionary. Because you see, at the end of the day, the goal isn't to destroy the narcissist, it's to heal yourself. The final, most important victory in this whole psychological battle is the complete and total return to who you really are. And healing is an active thing. It's about reconnecting with your own truth, the one that got buried under all that chaos. It's about giving yourself closure because you will never, ever get it from them. And most importantly, it's about getting to a place where you don't need a single thing from them anymore. Not an apology, not an explanation, nothing. And when that finally happens, you know what you get back? 100%. You reclaim 100% of your emotional sovereignty. And that's not just freedom from a person, it's freedom from a whole pattern of living. It's the moment you stop just surviving and you start actually living on your own terms. This all leads us to the final form of the awakened empath, the fully integrative individual. This is someone who has embraced all parts of themselves, the light, the shadow, the gentle, and the fierce. Now, dangerous here doesn't mean you're cruel or aggressive. Not at all. It means you have this unshakable refusal to be manipulated. It's a quiet, powerful energy that says, I am not to be messed with. You can still be incredibly compassionate, but now that compassion is protected by a spine of steel. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. This whole dynamic, it isn't just about narcissists and empaths. It's about noise versus clarity, chaos versus peace. In a world that is screaming for your reaction 24/7, what could you change in your work, in your relationships, maybe even in your own mind, with the quiet power of strategic silence?